Spell red.
L-A-T-E-R.
It's honestly impressive how lasting an impact Beetlejuice has had on internet culture since the turn of the millennium. While originally coming to prominence through his appearances on The Howard Stern Show, clips of his many iconic moments from the early 2000s continue to circulate on meme pages throughout TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit to this very day, with many becoming fans of his work without even knowing who Stern is. With that being said, I find it surprising that an accurate rundown of this man's life is almost impossible to come by, along with any good archiving of the bits he had been involved in. So today I wanted to dive deep into the full story of Beetlejuice, which I discovered to be much more complex and chaotic than I could have ever imagined when I started working on this video. But before we go any further in today's video, I want to give a big shout out to today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is a flavored air device designed to help people quit vaping and smoking by breaking the hand-to-mouth pattern. It's simple, natural, and honestly kind of genius. No nicotine, no batteries, no vapor, just a weighted, twisty, fidget-friendly tool that gives your hands something better to reach for when cravings show up. While I've never been addicted to smoking myself, from what I understand, oftentimes it's not just a nicotine addiction, but rather the fixation of wanting to hold something and put it in your mouth. That sounds homoerotic, I apologize. What I'm trying to get at is it's not just a willpower thing. Sometimes you need to have something to replace it. And instead of just replacing one nicotine addiction with another, this one cuts out any of the addictive substances. I really like the quality of Fume. It's a very solid product and you could just sit there all day long spinning it and it never gets old. And the flavor I put in it today is the sparkling grapefruit, which has a really great citrus smell. And the best part is, for a limited time, till September 15th, get 30% off the Good Habit Pack, with everything you need to kick back into gear after summer and get your habits back on track. Plus, if you use my code TheGamerFromMars at checkout, you receive a free gift. Over 1 million people have already used Fume to quit differently. The only question is whether you're ready to take the first step. So head to tryfume.com to get 30% off the Good Habit Pack. Or even just click the QR code on the screen right now. Use the code TheGamerFromMars at checkout to receive your free gift, and you could also just click the link in the description down below. Lester Green was born June 2nd, 1968. While multiple sources such as Wikipedia state that he was born in Browns Mills, New Jersey, as far as I can tell, this isn't true. Similarly, some claim his middle name to be Napoleon, but I haven't found a source for that either. Here's what I do know. The second youngest of 6 children, Lester grew up in the Marion housing project of Jersey City. He was born with dwarfism and microcephaly, a condition that resulted in his head being smaller relative to his body. Symptoms of the disorder can also include poor motor function and intellectual disabilities. The family was described as tight-knit, with Lester particularly close to their mother Lily. While a popular student and school athlete, he was regularly picked on in the projects, though he took it like a champ.
It was just an innate, people would pick at him, but he handled himself.
This is said to be where he got the nickname Beetlejuice, with the neighborhood bullies comparing him to a side character from the 80s flick who had a shrunken head. However, the Tim Burton film came out in 1988, which means Lester had to be at least 20 years old when it began. Regardless, the name stuck as Green embraced Beetlejuice as his new alias. According to one interview, Lester worked as an assistant for lawyer Frank Monahan. Mr. Monahan hosted Beat's first television appearance on New Jersey Public Access. The disabled man spent his 20s in relative obscurity until one fateful night at a local bar, when he met an aspiring talent manager named Sean Rooney while playing pool. Sean was once a prized recruit from St. Anthony High School's basketball team. He even netted a 4-year university scholarship, but was kicked out after, quote, gambling on his own team. He subsequently worked as a car salesman. In April of 1998, Sean attended a bachelor's party where the entertainment was midget tossing, a pub attraction popularized in the 80s. There, he was introduced to a dwarf named Frankie, third-degree Burns. Burns first worked as a professional wrestler, but now performed at parties while being managed by his father. Learning they only booked a few dates a year, Sean was convinced he could get Frank a gig every week. The duo became known as Boo and the Jolly Dwarf, performing shows across the East Coast. That December, after a gig in Manhattan, Sean suggested they visit Howard Stern's building to try to get on his radio show. He would reminisce, "What I did was I blew up the air mattresses, and when Robin and Jackie and all of them were coming in, I started tossing him on the mat." The plan was a success. Howard brought the duo on air, leading to his and Frankie's initial 16-minute appearance on the program. Howard stayed in touch afterward, clearly intrigued by the operation. Sean capitalized on this with TheJollyDwarf.com, which boasted about their interview. Of course, it wasn't until meeting Beetlejuice that things really took off. As mentioned before, upon returning to his hometown of Jersey City, Sean met Green at a local bar. As luck would have it, they lived just 8 blocks away from each other. Sean immediately recognized the traits that would turn Beetlejuice into a star. He told Lester about their business and gave him a card. The prospective talent called to learn more, and with his mother's permission, got on board. This set the stage for Sean's second appearance on the program, bringing Frankie and Lester with him, marking Beetlejuice's debut on The Howard Stern Show, dated July 14th, 1999.
How do you know Beetlejuice? He's a new guy.
Yeah, he's a new guy. He lives a couple blocks from my house.
The small-statured duo wore matching white suits, sunglasses, and held pimp-like canes. As a familiar face, Frank was their initial focus. The segment revolved around his relationship with a normal-sized woman named Patty. Patty was supposed to shave her head on air, but when she arrived to pick the troupe up that morning, she found panties strewn across her lover's room, alongside the phone numbers of random women. In light of this, Patty refused to go along with their original plan. She accused Frank of cheating and broke down crying in the pre-show lobby. Stern's staff were able to convince her to go on, leading the fight to be litigated in public.
I just found out that Frank cheated on me again.
Again. Frank, a dwarf, is getting laid that much that he would cheat on you?
At this stage, the Jolly Dwarf mainly served bachelor and bachelorette parties. Patty, a former stripper, attended one such celebration, and after getting drunk ended up in bed with a dwarf. By the time of the broadcast, they had been dating for 2 months, though she accused him of cheating on her 5 separate times. "What's your excuse, incel?" Frank justified himself by saying he liked bigger breasts, even asking her to get implants. Stern was flabbergasted by all of this, particularly because he found her quite attractive. After questioning Frankie and complimenting Patty, he suggested she go on a date with crew member Benji. By the end of the episode, Patty dumped Frankie, getting driven home by the studio's bouncer, who she had already slept with in the past. Throughout the drama, Beetlejuice sat quietly in the back, although Howard's eye was drawn to this strange new character, and often paused the conflict to hear his thoughts.
Beetlejuice is snoring into the microphone.
Did he pass out?
You all right, bro? All right, I'm just making sure you're all right.
Green didn't say much, and was noticeably less articulate than Frankie, but his answers floored them. Every response he gave was either incoherent or flat-out false. When they asked his age, he claimed to be 48 several times, to their disbelief. In reality, he was 31. When asked where he got his nickname, he responded it was from the movie he made named Beetlejuice. He'd often respond affirmatively regardless of what he had been asked.
That's where you primarily work?
And birthday parties.
Yeah,
Birthday parties.
You never been in like Wizard of Oz or anything?
That was about 5 years ago.
5 years ago you did it, yeah.
Whatever the truth was, Stern and his crew quickly fell in love with Beats, recognizing him as a natural star.
Seeing Beetlejuice is definitely the highlight of my life. Yeah, Beetlejuice, I like you.
Favorite Bobby Bowie.
Yeah.
After the segment, they filmed the conclusion of Frank's affair before circling back to Lester.
I just hang him like a little bird. Flip him over to this lamb and hang like a little monkey, getting little banana shoots. You know, he walked down the street like a banana.
What do you mean?
What I mean?
They asked for Beats' thoughts on Howard before getting him to crack a few jokes.
My name's Beetlejuice. They call me the X-Man.
Is that your joke?
Yeah,
What else?
that's it.
This day would single-handedly change Howard Stern forever. Beat was far from an inaugural member of the Whack Pack, an assortment of oddball personalities that regularly appeared on the show. The earliest members date back to the late 80s, but he easily became the most iconic. Without even trying, Beat had the makings of a superstar, something made evident by his second appearance just 2 weeks later. This time, Green called in and wasn't actually present in the studio. Instead, they reviewed footage of Beat going to a seminar about how to pick up women. Donning a shirt reading "Howard Stern for Governor," they tried to get him to recite a few lines to no avail.
I can say that all the way through. I get hot with the women. I get through with them. and they come to me, and when they want me, they just come to me. They all they have to do is call me.
Thankfully, what Beat wanted to say was still gold.
I'm a bad motherfucker, though. I was a good man. I can get you laid in 6 months.
While they don't play video of the seminar, the speaker is said to have admitted defeat. Beat got so drunk during the presentation that he began vomiting afterward. The sounds he made are indescribable. Green's next appearance on Stern wasn't until 4 months later on November 19th, 1999. This episode had Bill Maher, then host of the TV show Politically Incorrect. After discussing Maher's breakup with a Playboy playmate, Howard revealed the real reason they brought him on, to host a special Whack Pack edition of Politically Incorrect with Crackhead Bob, Fred the Elephant Boy, Croy the Crazy Old Bat, and Beetlejuice in a superhero costume.
Oh my God.
Beetlejuice, how you doing?
Oh, you're a sick man.
Why is that sick? Why this guy isn't entitled to an opinion? Why you're so important that you can't talk to Beetlejuice?
Maher admitted to feeling insulted by the stunt, but went along with it anyway. He tried to introduce topics like his actual show, but the Whack Packers barely understood, rendering their discussions pointless. Still, callers declared this as the funniest Politically Incorrect episode yet. On May 26, 2000, a sex worker named Dynamite visited the studio ahead of her 21st birthday. She planned to celebrate by sleeping with 21 men and wanted one of Stern's listeners to be the last. Instead, Howard invited John the Stutterer, High Pitch Eric, and Beetlejuice to compete to be the 21st guy. John offered to perform cunnilingus for an hour while Beat started going off, bragging how much money he made and insulting her husband.
Can you handle it?
Oh, I handle it.
Yeah, I don't think so, pal. I can have more than that in 1 week.
Clearly, Beetlejuice really wanted to win, but sadly she ended up picking Eric instead, stating he had won her over by, quote, acting like a gentleman. Alas, it seems sometimes nice guys do finish last. Stern's next bit had Beat on the streets running for senator, airing August 4th, amidst the heat of a real election season. JollyDwarf.com was swiftly decorated in cartoons of him. Other pages gave a closer look at his head and misaligned teeth.
Beetlejuice's head is approximately 15 3/4 inches around. Average head is around 23 inches. Beetlejuice is approximately 4 feet 3 inches tall and weighs about 92 pounds.
Early on, there was a phone number for callers to speak to him directly. It was retired in favor of a page tracking his latest public appearances. This notoriety led to his first gigs on TV outside of Stern. Some of the earliest were on Horror Kung Fu Theater, an underground movie show broadcast out of Los Angeles. IMDb claims Beetlejuice appeared as early as 1995, but I wasn't able to find any copies of these episodes or proof they even existed. A clip from HKFT's YouTube indicates they worked with Sean, who had only met Green in 1998. And that was around his hometown versus the other side of the country. Thus, it seems unlikely, but not impossible, Beat was on the show before then. Still, the safest bet to me is that these took place sometime around 2000. That year, he would also appear on World Championship Wrestling's Monday Nitro. Beatle's debut was alongside other Whack Packers, being asked to judge the organization's first ever bikini contest. Beat got the loudest cheers and had his own sketch where he gets knocked out by Jeff Jarrett after calling him slapnuts. As the end of the match approached, Jarrett tried to pull his guitar out from under the ring. It doesn't give. He starts climbing back in the ring only for Beetlejuice to crawl out and punch him square in the nuts, landing 4 direct hits in quick succession. Booker kicks Jarrett off the ringside cables, setting Beat up to deliver one final blow. With that, Booker T becomes WCW's new world champion, only for Scott Steiner to run in and strike him with a pipe. Jarrett even gets revenge on Beetlejuice, with the announcer yelling for him to exterminate that cockroach. While Stern listeners were thrilled to see their underdog on the big stage, this event became controversial amongst wrestling fans. Known as the Gold Rush match, both fighters were made to open crates named after the San Francisco 49ers. Beat was the last in a series of gimmicks they felt made it underwhelming compared to a traditional title fight. Regardless, Beat was there to usher in the new champion's victory. Years later, he'd claim the reason behind Jarrett's attack was because, quote, he banged his damn wife. After these major appearances, Beetlejuice guest starred yet again on Stern, this time in camo. He gave contradictory answers on being a Vietnam veteran.
How many people did you kill?
Like 25.
Show me how you killed them. What'd you do?
Huh? I don't have it.
And with even more jobs on the horizon, he no longer had to endure dwarf tossing.
I'm done with it, but I'm into wrestling right now. If you want to be a tough guy, hey, I'll put you in a situation, buddy.
It's a self-defense situation.
Although how successful he was is something Howard and his staff couldn't discern.
Over 50,000?
Yeah.
You are. This is big money. Over $1 million?
I already got 2,000 people already.
2,000 people for what?
Huh?
One of the callers accused Beetlejuice of being a woman and lying about her gender. Howard affirmed he was a man, having seen his penis at a party. This is also the first time Green would mention his supposed wife, a woman named Katie. Beat and Katie Juice allegedly got married 3 years prior, though he also claims to have been married for 15 years. They were planning to go to California together, and he had to leave the episode to pick her up in 15 minutes. Howard immediately doubted her existence, and callers would call in pretending to be his wife.
If you want to wrestle me, don't talk be a tough guy, because I will kill you in an hour.
Katie Juice became a reoccurring character, partially because of callers frequently pretending to be her. He'd often respond to them as if they were his actual wife.
I miss you so much. I would take you back if you would consider it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, baby, come home, because I miss your big black one. You do so many things for me.
When rumors circulated they were getting divorced, he admitted to lying about having ever been married. Eventually, he said that she moved to North Carolina and was seldom mentioned again. In February 2001, Beetlejuice was featured on the cover of an album by Smut Peddlers. This was a group consisting of members Mr. Eon, Cage, and DJ Mighty M.I. Beat got 3 of his own dedicated tracks: Beetlejuice Intro, Pimpology by Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice Outtakes. Cage later went on record to say that in retrospect he had no fondness for the project. Everything on the Smut Peddlers record I wrote in the first 30 minutes. The whole Beetlejuice thing was disturbed. It was raucous, throwing a disabled person into the group for laughs, as if that was going to do something for us. The same day this album was released, February 13th, Beetlejuice appeared in one of his most iconic shows, his battle of wits against who they called Gary the Retard. Beat arrived dressed in overalls and thick-rimmed glasses. The game was essentially Stern asking both whackpackers simple questions and seeing who could get the answers correct. Who guessed first would alternate between rounds. The very first question was Howard notoriously asking Beetlejuice to spell the word red.
Spell red.
Red? L-S-T-E-R.
Howard used the next question to give Beetlejuice a second chance.
Spell red.
Spell red?
Yeah.
L-A-E-T-E-R-D.
Close but not right. Go ahead, Gary.
I-E-D.
That is correct.
Thankfully, the game moved on to a new question. He asked Beat how many days were in a week. Shockingly, Beetlejuice correctly answered 7. On his turn, Gary scored a point by stating fire trucks were red. They then asked Beetlejuice what state he was in. Green answered Jersey City and New Jersey, but Gary got it right with New York. If he was to have any hope of catching up, Beat needed to start getting some questions right.
What is the opposite of up?
What is it?
If you're not up,
where are you?
What are you?
I'm down, baby.
All right.
There it is.
Gary accurately stated the number of hours in a day, but they both failed to identify what number came between 2 and 4.
36.
All right. Is that your final answer?
36.
36 is your final answer?
Yeah, 36.
Very close, but that's not it. Let's go to Gary the number between 2 and 4.
7.
Beat got the final question correct. What are the 2 ingredients inside a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Though he did answer butter and jelly rather than peanut butter and jelly. Gary won 6-3, though to be nice to Beetlejuice, they didn't make a big deal out of it.
No, we don't want to get into no fight, but we
Right.
partners, but he let me slide this time.
All right.
So I'm going to let him slide this time.
All right. That's nice of you, Beetlejuice.
Near the end of the episode, High Pitch Eric arrived dressed as a shirtless clown. He was there to promote Jolly Dwarf, employed by Sean and becoming a part of Beetlejuice's act. He states their gig included Beetlejuice riding on his back and giving high fives to people. The Battle of Wits would go down in history as the source of many of Beetlejuice and even the show's most beloved moments amongst listeners. It's hard to find a compilation of him that doesn't include Spell Red, and those bizarre answers resembling his own name. His inability to self-filter at a time when foul language wasn't permitted by the censors also helped a lot, combined with his remarkable inability to give a straight answer made for comedic gold.
I weigh over 600 pounds.
I know you're 600 pounds. How tall are you? Aren't you like 6 feet tall?
No. Yeah, about 100 feet taller.
Yeah, right? But how much you weigh? There you go.
At least a lot.
Okay, that's what I thought.
As he defined himself as a fixture of the show, Green was also busy shooting several projects in Hollywood, which were released in the summer of 2001. The first was Scary Movie 2, a film series spoofing horror movies. His cameo appears inside the character Shorty's head. The next was on the TV show Son of the Beach, a parody of Baywatch. Beetlejuice appears as a bystander at the very end of the second season's 14th episode, Area 69. To compensate for his speech, an on-air subtitle reads, Beetlejuice to English captions. On August 24th, Bubble Boy released in theaters. Green plays Little Zip, a member of the freak show Jake Gyllenhaal's character meets while train hopping. Needless to say, Beat was rising in popularity, a hot commodity for people to cast in their work, usually as himself.
What's the matter with you?
It wasn't me.
Hey, what's up?
Throughout this, Beat was still a staple of Stern's program, even without him physically being there. On one episode, he left voicemails trying to take the job of Jackie, a longtime Howard Stern sidekick. He came in later that day painted green like a leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day. Lester was often utilized to surprise guests like David Spade or Dave Chappelle, although he usually had no clue who they were and didn't care. That was a different story for his confrontation with a caller named Johnny T-Bone on July 25, 2001. T-Bone claimed to be sleeping with Beetlejuice's sister in a vulgar manner. He names her Erica and describes her as looking like Beetlejuice but with blonde hair and a big chest. Unlike similar jokes targeted at, say, Katie Juice, Beat came off much more defensive, telling the caller to leave his sister out of it.
Last couple times we made love,
you want to get your head broken? She's not a freak,
she's
so
not.
leave my sister out of it.
And I bet you she's not going out with you.
While the true identity of Johnny T-Bone isn't known for certain, the consensus amongst Stern fans say it was either Sean or someone he put up to the job. If true, that's particularly tragic, as when Beat threatens to get his brother to beat the caller up, he was talking about Sean.
I bet my brother choke your ass. I'll get my brother Sean to whoop your ass.
Who?
Sean's your brother?
This was recontextualized years later when Beetlejuice's mom and little sister appeared on the show in May of 2004. Stern, as well as everyone else, was shocked to learn he had a real sister named Erica who suffers from the same disability as Beat. This episode was actually quite pleasant, as you get to see a different side of Lester and his family genuinely seem very sweet. With all that said, given Johnny T-Bone knew he could get under Beetlejuice's skin by naming his actual sister, it was undoubtedly someone who knew him personally. As unshakable as his self-image could seem at times, Lester wasn't necessarily oblivious to being the butt of the joke. And even when things were going over his head, he knew when he was being treated unfairly. On June 11, 2001, Howard Stern ran a competition where contestants would put their hands on Beetlejuice's body. Whoever lasted the longest would win $1 million. This would make a great Mr. Beast video. Green expressed being uncomfortable beforehand and was apprehensive to get on the table. But they reassured him it was for $1 million.
Come on, Beat. Ready, bud? You ready?
This is for $1 million. Come
on.
Let's do it.
23 hours in, Beetlejuice started crying as they discussed how he didn't want to do it.
Are you crying?
Me? Nah, that's water.
Water from where?
From the eyes. Why?
Oh, that's called crying, Beat.
Why are your eyes watering?
The competition lasted 3 days. At the end, Lester was relieved it was over and asked for his paycheck. The gag in which they let Beetlejuice believe he was going to win $1 million had in reality become a primary motive for him to participate. Of course, he would never get this money. This is the kind of stunt that would upset anyone, as he'd essentially been stiffed.
What do you want?
My check. What else?
$1 million? Come on.
$1 million. You want me? It better be. Because if it ain't, I'm leaving. And I don't give a
Green went outside and started crying again, leading them to try and bring him back.
Beetle, what happened? I could straighten it out. What went wrong?
I don't know.
Bring him in.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. Beetle.
It's okay.
I don't want to know nothing.
Beetlejuice states rather candidly, I don't know what's going on there. Nobody tells me nothing.
Did you think you won the $1 million? Is that what happened?
Oh, they want to leave? I leave. I don't care.
No, we don't want you to leave.
Every couple of hours, we're going to change. It's
I
like
don't
a
care.
ship.
I'm leaving.
Well, at that moment, the crew was trying to console him. It's hard to take this show of concern seriously. They are still exploiting a mentally challenged man, and it's in their best interest for good radio to not leave him upset. Their view of him led those efforts to feel patronizing. Now, I just want to be clear, I'm not trying to moral grandstand Howard for having Beetlejuice on at all or making him the butt of the joke. Firstly, it would be extremely hypocritical of me to act like I'm virtuous when I'm often snickering at these clips myself. Secondly, these moments are rare, as the vast majority of the time on the radio, Beetle appeared unbothered and took it on the chin. It would also be understating his natural ability to be entertaining to say even having him on is demeaning. Howard Stern gave him a platform where his personality could shine, and that's what made people love Beetlejuice beyond the initial shock at his appearance or voice. The comments under uploads of the clips show this clearly. Beetlejuice unironically inspires me. The way he can go into a room knowing absolutely nothing and still be the man is incredible. For as heartless as he could be, Stern did seem to have a soft spot for Beats, and in these moments you can tell they were not reveling in his misery as they might have for other guests. A reoccurring gag on the show was Beetlejuice's rivalry with fellow whackpacker Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf. Hank first appeared on the show back in 1996. The two initially met at Howard's birthday show on January 21st, 2000. Within months they were beefing as the duo were brought on to roast each other. The bitter feud was iconic enough for Beat to be associated with Hank Sucks graphics. This culminated in July of 2001 when the two had their final face-off, initiated by Green calling him a midget.
What do you think I'm mad about? I'm getting tired of people getting tired of them talking junk. I'm just getting tired of it. See you later, midget man.
Yeah, see you later. I hope I never see you again.
Afterward, they got mic'd up to continue the confrontation.
Do you know what country you're in?
I know what country I'm in. I'm in Jersey, brother.
I know what state he's in, the state of confusion.
Sadly, this would be Hank's last appearance on the show. 2 months later, he passed away in his sleep due to complications stemming from his alcohol abuse. Despite the on-screen hatred, the two interacted outside the program. A month before the news, Beetlejuice called in while next to a prostitute to brag about getting laid. Hank was asleep in the hotel room next door. The Angry Drunken Dwarf passed away on September 4th, 2001. Stern's show discussed his passing the very next day, with Green calling in to share his thoughts.
Were you okay with Hank when he went?
Yeah,
Have you cried over Hank?
all night long.
All night long.
Beetle, where were you when you found out that Hank had died?
I don't know. Somebody told me. Not Sean told me. Somebody else told me.
Oh. He could cry right now.
He sounds like he's crying. You're very touched by Hank's death.
They had hung out the previous weekend, leading the crew to joke about how he could have had him whacked. They then discuss holding a funeral and letting Beat read out the eulogy.
Well, Beetle, it does. You have to admit, as sad as this is, this means all of the appearance money goes to you.
Beetlejuice had been asked his thoughts many times before this. He didn't know how to express them, but he clearly understood the permanence of death, that this person would never come back.
We didn't go up there?
Nah, his family was up there.
Oh,
We were sitting in the back.
oh, that's a shame.
Well, that's the way it is, Sean.
Why do you think he died, though?
Drinking, what else?
Beetlejuice had some notable bits in the aftermath. He dressed up like Uncle Sam and proudly displayed his genitals to Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst. He even got his own action figures by Fighting Amish Toys in collaboration with Toxic Mom Studios. Beat the Jolly Dwarf has him in a Superman costume wearing a bachelor party utility belt. The description notes his tendency to ask, "Me?" followed by an unrelated statement.
You know, I liked rum when I was in high school.
Me?
Yeah, you.
One of the most bizarre coincidences in Beetlejuice lore involves actor Jerry O'Connell. Jerry's mother was a special ed teacher, and he recognized Green as one of her former students. He recalled Lester being a teacher's pet, running errands and getting supplies. They came to view him as part of the family.
And my mother and my brother and I have a really soft spot for Lester, and every time we hear him on the show, I'm really happy for him.
Even with his success, Beat always went back to the Jolly Dwarf. Dwarf tossing had become a booming business, with one promoter bizarrely blaming the trend on 9/11. Because of what's going on with our country, promoters now need something to draw attention to a party. When you see a bunch of midgets, it's eye-catching. We want people to say, "I saw a bunch of midgets dressed as Kiss. It was hilarious."
It reminds me of that tragedy.
In November of 2001, Beat charged about $2,500 for 2 hours at parties. It didn't always involve being thrown. Sometimes he stood around headbanging to heavy metal. Other stunts included wrestling and dwarf bowling, though these were handled by his new co-star, Dominic Big Papa Lucci. They tended to perform with strippers. As for Frankie Burns, it's unclear when he left the operation. He disappeared from the Jolly Dwarf site sometime after October 1999. Unsurprisingly, their popularity proved divisive. The Little People of America organization argued that it, quote, fed a sideshow mentality that gives people permission to stare, laugh at, and even fear individuals with dwarfism. LPA denounces public activities or media portrayals of short-statured individuals that fail to convey the intelligence, individuality, and humanity of the short-statured individual. In light of this growing backlash, authorities began to crack down on the industry. While legality varies per state, in New York it is illegal for bars to sponsor dwarf tossing. In March 2002, local police were sent to investigate the Odyssey Disco in Amityville. Bargoers paid $10 to throw suited-up dwarves as far as they could. The farthest sought to win an undisclosed amount of money. The club owners faced up to $600 in fines for dwarf throwing and not displaying legally required signage. Neither contestants nor the 3-foot men were charged. One detective said about the dwarves, "This is their livelihood, it's how they make money." However, one of their promoters, Joey Boots, was ticketed for disorderly conduct after standing on the bar when police shut down the event and yelling obscenity at them. A month later, Lester appeared on Stern wearing a prison uniform, accompanied by Dominic the Midget, marking the latter's radio debut. That August, Beetlejuice appeared with his quote-unquote grandson Ryan. Although it comes off as another fake family member bit, Ryan was Sean Rooney's 7-year-old son, so Lester did sincerely consider him family. He noticeably stops cursing as soon as Ryan comes in. Stern tries to interview Ryan, but Grandpa Beat answers for him. He talks about how they played video games together. The last 4 minutes show him peeing at a urinal next to Howard's cameraman.
How you been?
I'm doing alright, man. How you been?
I do more sex than you never have in one night.
You're absolutely right, Beetle.
Both of these occurred at the end of the segment. Green was primarily there to promote Beetle Uncensored.
Beetle what?
Beetle on Citrus.
Beetle on Citrus?
That's what it says. That's what it says on the shirt.
You see, with the success of films like Jackass, the Jolly Dwarf had confidence in making home movie-style videos with Beetlejuice. That November, they purchased a billboard advertising the DVD. Sean and Beat even planned to camp on top of the billboard. Lester was confident the plan would work despite having only one sleeping bag. Luckily, they filmed the attempt.
Mom, I'm gonna push you up.
Sadly, once Beat got back to the top, he couldn't reach the gate. He had to climb back down, and they contemplated sleeping on the ground before giving up.
I tried.
We did our best, that's all that
I
matters.
did my best. We tried.
Maybe next year we'll come back and try it again?
Maybe next year.
Predictably, the film is raunchy with footage of Beetlejuice having intercourse. The women are usually prostitutes in seedy hotel rooms. Sean can often be heard yelling at them in the background. Dominic sometimes joined in. The rest of the tape's contents were more in line with the promised Jackass-style fun. At the same time this was being shot, Beetlejuice appeared at the 2002 AVN Awards.
Well, Big Juice here had a big penis here. So you liked it, Mr. Howard?
What are you all staring at?
We're all staring at.
In January of 2003, Beetlejuice went on the show on a motorcycle with two girls named Brandy Beavis and Alicia the Bomb.
He's a boxer, I know that. He's a boxer and a biker?
It turns out he was there to promote a boxing match he had with another little person.
It's hard to hit Beetlejuice in the head because he's got such a little head.
He appeared on behalf of Tough Man, a non-professional league that also boasted bikini fights, hence why he appeared with Tough Man girls. He was noticeably quieter than usual, though.
Why are you so mellow? You seem depressed. Are you talking?
Sometimes. I'm always depressed sometimes.
This was seemingly the first time Beetlejuice stepped in the ring, at least the earliest mention of his boxing on the show. Still integral to the Whack Pack, he guested alongside John the Stutterer, Gary the Retard, and Wendy the Retard. And for those unaware, that's really what the Stern Show called them. It was a wild time. Beat noticeably felt superior, helping John out.
Where y'all hung out in Vegas and
The show with Gary had them competing for Wendy's heart, though it was once again to no avail.
Who do you think is more fun, Wendy? Beetlejuice or Gary?
Gary.
Gary's more fun.
Oh, Gary's not that fun. I was the bartender. I'm the one who's getting all the drinks.
Now, what do you think? Who do you think is more fun?
Gary.
In 2003, he appeared on MTV's Doggy Fizzle Televizzle, a sketch comedy series starring rapper Snoop Dogg. Beat gets a bedtime story before transforming into his alter ego, Superjuice.
Superjuice!
At the end of the year, he dressed up as Howard for Halloween. By then, Stern was once again facing censorship issues in 2004. After the Super Bowl halftime controversy when Janet Jackson had an unfortunate outfit mishap, combined with the prudish Bush administration in the White House, there was a crackdown by broadcast censors. Clear Channel, now known as iHeartRadio, removed Howard Stern from all of their stations due to this as collateral. Shortly after, Stern got a record fine for on-air indecency. Viacom ultimately paid out $3.5 million to the FCC in a consent decree covering 50 broadcasts over the past 15 years. This saga is reflected on the Jolly Dwarf website, which rallied readers to help save Howard. Because of this, Stern announced that he'd be leaving terrestrial radio. It led to his partnership with SiriusXM, a subscription-based satellite radio service, meaning that they weren't subject to censors anymore. The Howard Stern Show aired for the last time on AM and FM radio on December 16, 2005. Until then, there's still quite a bit left to cover as he made his time left on terrestrial radio count. One episode from this period has Beat wearing a round red cap, cape, and an American-themed suit.
How tall is Sean about?
Sean's about 6'7".
6'7". How tall are you, Beetle?
Me? I'm 6'7".
You 6'7" too?
He's on the 6'9", I'm 6'6".
Green wore a police badge underneath, claiming he had been working undercover for the Italians. He also claimed to have been fighting in the war since 1972.
What did you do?
Me?
They shot him out of a cannon.
No.
They didn't? What did you do in the war?
Me? I shoot a lot of people.
In February of 2005, Beetlejuice went on Stern donning red hair, this time showing off his diaper.
Diaper ain't got nothing to do with it. I just wear it, that's all.
You just wear it?
Yeah, just for fun, yeah.
Oh, you do it for fun?
Yeah.
Beat had kept up with boxing and was there to promote a new match. He'd be fighting against another dwarf tomorrow, and a new opponent that Friday in Delaware. He got into a fight over whether or not he quit one of his fights mid-match. A month later, Green re-emerged on the show with his next adversary, a fellow little person named The Toad. Boxing became a central aspect of the Beetlejuice persona during this time, often showing up in boxing gear and performing stunt events. On May 5, 2005, Beetlejuice appeared alongside the late beloved comedian and actor Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert began doing impressions of old actors, but Green was in a bad mood and not having any of it.
Beetlejuice, you know who's here?
I don't want to know nothing.
That's Gilbert, Beetlejuice.
I don't care. I don't want to know nothing.
You want to say hi to Gilbert?
I don't want to know nothing.
The comedian tried impressing Beat by listing off characters he played in movies, only for the Whack Packer to dismissively reply.
Yes, I was a parrot.
Did you
in
ever-
Aladdin, Beetlejuice.
Did you ever see Aladdin?
Never did, I never will.
Gilbert continued to crack jokes, hoping to win him over, even doing the Aflac duck voice. Beetlejuice's disinterest and overall dismissiveness was a hit amongst listeners. His hatred of the celebrity is considered one of Beat's best bits, with the phrase "goo for you" synonymous with the clip.
Hey, Beetle, I don't understand one thing. For some reason, you don't like this guy. Why?
Something about
I don't like him either.
Something about him, I don't know.
I mean, just on first
So
sight?
weird, I don't want to know.
Howard Stern would also be home to the Whack Packers' next biggest hit, a song simply titled "This Is Beetle."
This is Beetle, is as bad as can. He knows he's the best.
The clip was originally recorded for the Emmy Awards, an annual celebration of the show's highlights. Richard Christie wrote music to accompany his vocals, resulting in the Beetlejuice song, which debuted December 4th, 2004. Green was present to sell calendars as well as a sculpt cast of his head. This Is Beetle became a fan favorite with renditions by bands like Stained and Blues Traveler. Howard got multiple groups of people to sing the song and declared Stained on-air appearance as his favorite musical performance on the show ever.
Beetle is as bad as can, and he knows he's the best.
There even became a market for other Beetlejuice songs. Unfortunately, when Stern left for SiriusXM in late 2005, they lost the rights to the track. It was recorded at K-Rock, their old studio, which meant it was owned by CBS. Stern and his crew's attempts to recreate This Is Beetle were unsuccessful, as Green never wanted to sing again after his original performance. This ordeal wasn't resolved until 2006, when an agreement was reached for CBS to sell the rights of his K-Rock broadcast to Sirius. In the meantime, Beetlejuice appeared as himself in the PlayStation 2 game True Crime New York City. He was also paid by a grooming company to shave his pubes on air. They enlisted adult actress Jodie Moore for the deed, who also volunteered to get teabagged. Later on, Green expressed plans to marry Miss Moore, saying she could become Mrs. Jodie Moore Beetlejuice. Afterwards, Stern writer Sal found a pair of soiled underpants in the men's room. This revealed Green had defecated in his trousers right before teabagging. Sal brought the dirty britches into the studio, which Richard Christie wore on his head for $500. The endless antics made it easy to forget the troubles of everyday life, until one day there was a stark reminder of reality. On January 13, 2006, Beetlejuice's manager, Sean Rooney, had a stroke. The story goes that he woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning and fell. This was especially concerning as he suffered from diabetes and an existing heart condition. Green was the one to find him passed out on the floor, putting a pillow under his head before getting Sean's wife, Michelle, for help. Lester and Michelle called in to give Stern updates from the hospital as the day progressed.
When they did the EKG, they found out that Sean's heart is very weak, and he's had approximately 2 heart attacks in the past week. No, he had, which are called silent heart attacks.
Wow.
And it did a lot of damage to his heart.
Thankfully, Sean would end up being okay, with Beetlejuice having saved his life.
Yeah, well, good for you. I'm proud of you, and you actually are a hero. You know what this reminds me of? I mean, really, if you think about it, Beetlejuice went ahead and found Sean passed out.
Yeah.
I remember the episode of Lassie.
For all the questionable behaviors surrounding Sean and his dwarf-tossing business, it cannot be understated he genuinely did care for Beetlejuice and loved him like family. When Stern brought Beat on to denounce the FCC, it was Sean who told them his grandma just passed away.
Me? I don't care about no government. I don't care about none of that.
Oh.
Do I care about it?
Obviously he doesn't care.
I'll tell you why he's upset.
Why?
His grandmother just passed away.
Oh, well, that's upsetting.
And he's been, waking up on the wrong side of the bed.
So,
Oh, you're upset. All right, I didn't know that.
Why is he here today, then? He's still grieving.
Afterward, he spoke to his grandson Ryan over the phone.
You don't care about me?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about something else, bro.
What are you thinking about?
Don't worry, I'm just thinking about something else.
But you love me, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just sad. Just don't worry about it.
I hope you feel better, all right?
While Stern and his staff tend to misinterpret his responses, often intentionally, Beat is perfectly understandable here. After losing someone close to him, he sought comfort from people he saw as friends. Those people acted sarcastic and unsympathetic, making him feel pessimistic about talking at all. Even when they're trying to cheer him up, they view him as a child and come off as disingenuous, stating they cared about him as friends, yet still try to rope him into some kind of joke.
Just leave me alone. Alright? Just leave me alone.
Okay, I'll leave you alone. Just follow the camera then.
Camera, who gives a
Okay.
This episode took place after Sean had his stroke. Here, Howard vocally plans a gag reliant on Green being stupid enough to think random objects are phones. He speculates Beat can hear him, but doesn't care. Some commenters have likened this to the scene from Joker where Arthur Fleck listens to himself getting made fun of backstage before going on the Murray Franklin show.
Why are you angry?
Because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, what happened?
Just tired of it.
Of what?
What are you tired of?
Tired of everything.
Despite Beat's unenthusiastic demeanor, Howard insisted on continuing his bits, first claiming an interested woman was on the other end of the line. Then they put a sponge up to his ear before Stern speculates on why he was actually upset. They heard rumors he wouldn't be able to live with Sean anymore.
Are you upset because you can't live with Sean anymore? You have to go back to...
I don't care. I don't have to. I don't want to.
Is that what's happening?
I heard,
he can't live with Sean
that's
anymore?
what I heard, a rumor that he has to go back and live with his mom.
He threatened to quit show business and never come back to Stern again.
Well, I feel bad. I wonder what's going on.
I don't care.
Don't you want to make money?
I don't care about the money.
Well, what about your DVD sales?
I don't care.
I see them drying up.
I don't give a
It escalates until Beetle starts threatening his own life, leading the host to threaten to call a doctor.
I don't care if I'm not east. I'm not
What?
No.
What happened, Beat? What do you mean? Don't ever say that. Don't even joke about stuff like that.
Think I ain't joking? I ain't joking.
Why would you want to hurt yourself? All the joking around aside.
I don't care.
You're not going to yourself, are you? Because I'm going to call the doctor.
Finally taking him seriously, Howard offers to talk with him off the air. They reminisce on old memories together while reminding Green of his family.
Who are those people?
That's my mother and me.
That's right.
I'm not laughing. I'm not having.
But you love your mother, right?
I love my mother.
You love your mother. Okay, so then you treat her well and your sister.
Don't you make her cry.
Though the interview ended on a softer note, his temper remained. After stating repeatedly he wanted to be left alone, one of Stern's camera people approached him for a post-show interview.
What happened on my show?
Lisa, leave him alone.
Oh, my God.
Hey, what are you doing, man?
Jeez.
Lisa, leave him alone.
The camera woman, Lisa Glassberg, had a unique explanation of events.
So I think it was the combination of two cameras, a microphone. He saw me, I don't think a woman back there is his comfort zone if you're not a stripper. So he saw my microphone and he just chucked it and it flew out of my hand.
Presumably after this, whatever complications preventing him from living with the Rooneys were resolved, as he continued living with Sean long afterward. As revealed in a later episode, Lester suffered from clinical depression. He was prescribed antidepressants in mid-2006. After Sean's health scare, Beat started monitoring his own blood pressure. Sadly, even with Sean's recovery, there were still tensions between him and the Stern crew. Take, for example, this voicemail Howard played from the very episode his wife called in from the hospital after his stroke.
Tell Howard Stern I will beat the fuck out of him. He leaves me on fucking hold for an hour and a half. Who the does he think he is? Huh? Who the does he think he is leaving me on a hold for an hour and a fucking half?
While Howard didn't take these threats seriously, that can't be said for everyone. In fact, Sean had already been banned from their building for threatening K-Rock station general manager Tom Chusano. The altercation began when Tom simply walked past him in the hallway. Sean looked at him and said, "What are you looking at?" He then tracked Tom down the hall and threatened him. Sean later explained that at the time he had been off his mental health-related medication for 3 days. Even with this added context, it did little to convince Tom, who was stern in keeping him banned. They discussed the matter on the show, with Sean calling in from the lobby in hopes of apologizing directly.
Why should I let him back in? I mean, I have my...
I understand if you don't let me.
But I'm looking, so give me a reason.
No, I just wanted to apologize, and I wanted you to forgive me for the way I acted.
Sean was also adamant he would have never laid a finger on him.
All right.
Tom, do you really think I would have hit you?
Yeah.
No, you
I
wouldn't.
swear on my son's life, no cross counts.
He
I would have
wouldn't
never
do
hit
that.
you. I was just trying to put fear in you.
He just tried to.
You did it.
He wouldn't do it. Because if I said it, he wouldn't do it.
It's unclear how else Sean quote-unquote lost his shit that day, as they recall him yelling and threatening people. But this was far from an isolated incident. Following the success of the Beatles song, a dispute broke out over who would get what percentage of the royalties. Naturally, Stern felt a cut should go to Richard Christie for the backing track. These talks deteriorated until Sean was sending Stern Show producers threatening emails, some even involving their families.
Is that true, Sean, that you threatened Gary's life?
No, I asked him if he wanted me to.
No, Sean, did you say, I'll put a bullet in your head?
No, Gary.
Then you know what, Sean? You're not being a man. Remember how yesterday you accused me of not being a man? You're not being a man.
Howard, I don't want to talk to Gary because he's trying to ruffle my feathers. And
You said you
he's
put
trying to
a
let me
bullet
go
in my
off of
head.
what I'm trying to do.
Well, let me get to the bottom.
And then you
he does
threatened to
this
harm
all
my
the time.
family.
It wasn't necessarily all about the royalties. Howard suggested he may have felt disrespected by the show in general. Regardless, his anger wasn't something they could simply write off and ignore, especially when put in the context of his criminal history. As it turns out, Sean was first arrested in 2002 during a dwarf tossing gig in Florida. After getting into a fight with a bouncer, police found 4 grams of cocaine in his pocket. Jumping forward to 2005, a month before his stroke, he was arrested in Pennsylvania for aggravated assault. He recollected the incident on an inmate pen pal site. "I received a 4 to 8 year sentence for punching a man one time. He sustained a broken nose and 7 stitches to the back of his head from hitting the ground." Sean was sentenced in May of 2006 to a minimum of 4 years, set to be released in October of 2010. He asked his brother, Bobby Rooney, to take care of Beetlejuice while he went away. This all recontextualizes Beetlejuice's demeanor from this time period. Even though he had saved Sean's life, his manager/best friend was still going away for a very long time. The future of everything in the Whack Packer's life was uncertain. Now feels like as good of a time as any to talk about the second DVD Beetlejuice was promoting on the show during this era.
Buddy, you always talk shit. Now me see you some shitty drawers and some shitty pants.
Beetle, As Bad as Can, is a 2-hour assortment of home recordings. These are mostly unremarkable aside from a specific excerpt called Beetlejuice Runs Away halfway through the film. The footage starts midway through the conversation. We hear several people asking Lester why he tried to leave home. He'd been sneaking out at night to sleep in an abandoned house. They ask why his clothes are missing and try to understand what's wrong. Green is short with his replies.
"I thought we was buddies, and Sean was your buddy. You saved his life and everything, and then you do something like that? You got Ryan looking for you all over the place, he's sick. Michelle's sick, she's running all over looking for you. You think that's nice? No. So why'd you do it?"
Lester's second family do their best to be accommodating, offering to drive him to his mother if he wants them to. It really is sweet how much you can tell that they care.
So why didn't you wake up Sean? Let him help you like you helped him.
Remember when Sean needed you? You helped him, right?
So that's
Remember?
You're supposed to go back to Sean when you need help.
Remember yesterday? I couldn't even get out of bed. I had a fever. I needed ginger ale. Who got it for me?
Me?
Oh, yesterday when I couldn't eat anything and I tried a little bit of soup, who made it for me?
Me?
You want to go take a nap upstairs? I'll bring you back cigarettes when I go to take Ryan for a haircut.
Yes.
Okay, why don't you go take a nap in your room upstairs? And I will bring you back cigarettes when I go get Ryan's haircut. And you'll feel better, okay?
Yes.
How does that sound? To sleep in a nice warm bed and not on a cold floor.
While they couldn't have known, this DVD would be a fitting last hurrah to him and Sean's time together.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing everything.
Anytime, bro. I love you.
I love you too.
Beetlejuice Runs Away was clipped and posted online, becoming notorious as a rare glimpse behind his unshakable self-image. It was also frequently cited as an example of him not doing a shtick. That said, sometime around 2016, the only upload was taken offline. This led to the excerpt to become lost media, partially due to its origin. Beetle, As Bad as Can, was itself also lost media. It only resurfaced online after being ripped by a user named BB Gobble. For many years, the only version of the DVD available was a 4-hour recreation with none of the original footage. Instead, it used home movies from DVLH, short for Death vs. Luke Hadley. DVLH specialized in backyard wrestling, but also sourced troves of rare candid Beetlejuice footage. With all this on the table, I think now is a good time to dig deeper into a question I've always had. How smart is Beetlejuice?
Why does the sun come up, Les? Like, why do you think the sun comes up?
The sun comes up every single day.
Why, though?
Because God wanted to. That's why.
This may seem like a pointless question to some, as Beat is clearly mentally challenged, but when it comes to the issue of exploitation, many end up asking themselves if he knew he was being bullied. In recent years, conspiracy theories have even emerged that he was simply pretending to be dumb the whole time. To be clear, I'm not saying that he was playing the long con, that this was a masterful bit and he was working everyone. But there is a disconnect between how many understood him at the time and how he's perceived today. Something I've neglected to mention thus far is that more often than not, Green was inebriated when he went on the show. He regularly drank alcohol, smoked pot, and sometimes even snorted coke. Very rarely would you get a fully sober Beetlejuice on the Stern Show, and that was by design.
Some of the guys were speculating that perhaps you smoked some weed this morning and it puts you in a bad mood.
Sometimes it does. When I smoke weed, it don't even bother me.
Through the home movies, you see a different side of Beat, like watching him cook burgers or take care of their animals. Because of this, I do think he's more cognizant than he can articulate. Many things go over his head, but that doesn't mean he totally is oblivious to being made fun of. His coherence likely fluctuates on both mood and sobriety. It's rather patronizing when folks on Stern bully Lester than treat him like a child about topics like death, but that's far from the only ethical qualm you could raise about the show. This leads us to another long-standing question. Was Beetlejuice exploited, and should he ever have been made famous? The answer to this is often disputed in the Howard Stern community. On the surface, yes. Howard, Sean, and everyone else profiting from Beetlejuice were exploiting someone with a disability to some extent. However, Beat repeatedly chose to remain an entertainer. He had decided to go into dwarf tossing long before Stern opened up a world of new possibilities. Lester seemed to genuinely enjoy the lifestyle, traveling, gaining experiences he never would have had otherwise, and a new family he cared deeply about. Stern defenders would say Howard treated Beat like he would have any guest, regardless of their IQ. At the very least, the radio show was more dignified than getting thrown around at a bar. Sean's brother Bobby would argue, he was being made fun of by people in his neighborhood his whole life. Why not get paid? We always made sure that he maintained his dignity. Nobody took advantage of him in any way. He was always taken care of. Exploitation is the last thing I'd think of. Meeting my brother and the way it evolved helped him. It improved his life. An even harder question is if someone with such disabilities can meaningfully consent to this sort of career. At what point is it removing Beat's agency? That's why the issue is so gray. Yes, there are clear elements of exploitation, but there are also signs of a life overall brightened by becoming a beloved pop culture icon. With Sean in prison and Bobby as his new manager, Lester settled into a new status quo. There were old faces like his friend and co-worker, Drunken Jamie. Beat started beefing with Artie Lang as the duo began repeatedly accusing the other of being gay.
Yeah, I don't like because you are f***. Look at you.
You're against me getting married?
Mess, you fat fuck.
You think he could get married and have children?
Who's gonna have children with that fat pig?
That was all while Beat claimed to be swearing off women, becoming a volcel, not an incel.
You recently have sworn off women, right? The last time you were here, you said you don't want anything to do with sex or women, right?
Well, sex is all right, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
But you had given up women the last time we talked
to you. I used to give it up women, but I'm still on it.
On October 3rd, 2006, Mr. T appeared on Howard Stern to promote his new reality TV series, I Pity the Fool. At the 26-minute mark, they introduced Beetlejuice and asked the retired wrestler to inspire him. Mr. T calls them out for putting him on the spot, but obliges, and manages to legitimately cheer Green up.
Mr. T must be an inspiration to Beetlejuice to see a proud black man who has made his way in life, has set a lot of a precedent in the black community. He is the first black man to have his own cereal. It must give you a lot of racial pride. Is that true?
It definitely does.
Unfortunately, this was cut short when his nemesis, Artie Lang, once again accused Beetlejuice of being a homosexual.
Well, the problem with Beetlejuice is, to me, he doesn't admit that he's gay.
No,
All right,
I heard you
easy.
easy.
Come on,
Easy.
It's fight right now.
Beetlejuice.
I'll
fight you.
Beetlejuice.
Take it outside.
I'll take it outside. I'll fight you.
Mr. T desperately tries to calm Beat down, worrying that kids could be watching because he was on. Mr. T and Beat gave a post-episode interview, although the feud continued.
Me and my man Beetle, you know, I'm proud as a brother, he's proud of me. We proud of each other. You know, he got his business going, I got mine going, that's what it's about.
Now, before we go any further, we have to step back a bit and give some context for the production side of things. In January 2006, Howard TV was launched to coincide with Stern's new contract with SiriusXM. Howard TV was an on-demand pay-per-view service. It covered the day-to-day happenings of the radio show, but also had old episodes and original programming. The latter is what gave us gems like Beatles' fake episode of MTV Cribs. That takes us to the Killers of Comedy tour, which brought Stern's sidekicks across the country. Beat was amongst the cast of Whack Packers. He had toured and performed shows for years. The others included Yucko the Clown, Gary the Retard, and Eric the Midget. There were also stand-up sets by Bob Levy, Shuli Egar, and Artie Lang. Whilst on the road, Beat was managed by Sal the stockbroker, who had to book hotels and change his diapers. Sal is probably best described in this role as an instigator. While the show didn't air until 2009, the tour started as early as March of 2007. An article from The Time notes Sal broke his wrist and rib after plunging off stage into concrete. In early 2008, Beat got new teeth, which seemed to be a major boost in his self-esteem. A newer member of the Whack Pack at the time was the Iron Sheik, an ex-professional wrestling heel and former WWE champion. Him and Beat traveled together on tour in 2008, resulting in quite a bit of conflict.
But you'll never insult the boss.
Don't come in my face, dude.
Oh, come! What the f*** you want to do?
Don't come in my face, dude.
Sir.
Don't come in my face, I will.
I just can't come! What the f*** you want to do?
This was litigated on April 30th when Beat stopped by the show. They first discussed finances as Artie had recently performed for the benefit of Beetlejuice's welfare. Green seemed unaware of any financial troubles, but recounted being charged $200 by a stripper for a $20 lap dance. Afterward, the Iron Sheik called in. The ex-wrestler is near incomprehensible due to both his screaming, the audio quality, and his thick Iranian accent. Sheik recalls sharing a hotel room with Beat, declaring it the worst night he ever had, as that jabroni never shuts up. He also complained Green never flushed the toilet. Beat was surprisingly coherent in his replies. Firstly, he told a story about the Sheik getting kicked out of their hotel while naked.
Look who's talking. He wasn't even there walking around butt f***ing naked.
He walked around naked?
Yeah, he walks around the hotel butt f***ing naked.
Green then revealed the Iron Sheik tried to fight with the hotel's manager, only to run away like a little bitch.
You were running like a little bitch.
Oh, yeah,
You ran the room like a little bitch.
Oh, yeah, sister.
It wasn't an isolated occurrence either. The Iron Sheik also got into a fight on stage, which led their bodyguard to intervene.
Yeah, they had to get your ass off the stage when you were so f***ing drunk.
Lester called the Sheik ungrateful, criticizing his macho act and the way he treated fans.
You cried like a little bitch. You're on, and then when people come up there to take a picture, you tell them to get the f*** away from you. What are you, a f***ing jackass?
Throughout the back and forth, Green continued to offer surprisingly coherent responses. The tough guy routine didn't affect him. Instead, he seemed bewildered at the absurdity of it all.
Son of a liar! Everywhere we go, from Madison Center to New York.
After a while, Sheik hung up, leading Dominic to enter the stage. Immediately, he directed the conversation towards Lester's bowels. He explained that Beat falsely told their manager, Bob Rooney, that Dominic had defecated in Beat's pants despite being over 20 miles away. Beat denied this and deflected by claiming Dominic had, quote, shit in his shoes last week.
Come on, Beetle. We know we all have accidents.
Hey, you know you shit in my shoes last week, you f***.
6 minutes later, Howard's crew realized the Sheik had never hung up. He was still on the line, just yelling at someone in the background for interrupting him. After returning on air, he began screaming about being the killer in the ring. Beat was amused by this proclamation.
Yeah, you think you're the king of the ring, you're being king of the ass whooping.
The conflict resolved with Stern concluding the two shouldn't be in the same room together.
Will you ever share a room with him again?
Never again. Never get. You know what? From now on, he get his own
Beetlejuice's argument with Iron Sheik, as well as the subsequent debate over who defecated in whose pants, has led many to consider this to be one of his best appearances. The two would end up in the same room again after this, although that didn't last long. The Killers of Comedy TV series spans 6 episodes, totaling an hour and 20 minutes. The show documents their travels to cities like Hollywood, Seattle, and Portland. The promoter was a man named Sequoia Slentz. A decade later, Sequoia was arrested for allegedly assaulting his 72-year-old dad after breaking into his home to steal guns. The final episode was filmed in Indianapolis.
Come on. But don't live in front of us.
Don't come in my face, dude.
I can't. What the do you want to do?
Come in my face.
Despite being much smaller, the dwarf refused to back down from the wrestler's threats.
You gotta calm down.
Turn the cameras off.
Turn the cameras off. You are here to our business number 1 show.
Sequoia admits this was the worst incident they'd seen and comforted Beetle afterward.
I tell you what, we won't bring him on any more shows after this. I swear. I promise you. I promise you. We won't bring him on any other shows, I promise.
That's serious.
The episode ends on a lighter note, showing the two squash the beef and Sheik apologizing.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's all right.
Because I respect Beetlejuice.
Despite this, the Iron Sheik was ultimately suspended from the Killers of Comedy tour. Although the timeline of all this is hard to piece together, this likely happened after the hotel debacle. A month later, the disgraced whackpacker would speak about his departure on a podcast by fans.
That was maybe 75% Beetlejuice fault, 20% was my fault because the hand feed me. I don't cut that hand and I don't bite that hand.
In 2009, Stern announced another reality show for Howard TV called This Is Beetle. It ran for 5 episodes starting that October. While many anticipated Sean's eventual release, sadly this day would never come. In July of 2009, Sean passed away in his sleep while still incarcerated. He was 38 years old. Bobby claimed that he was unable to receive proper medical attention while in prison, which may have contributed to his death. The news was sort of glossed over on the show, perhaps out of respect for his loved ones. Thus, we don't know how Beat felt about this news. In his spare time, Beat returned to make more frequent appearances on Stern. During this era, they mostly had him play guessing games. For example, the Beetlejuice Barnyard Animal Game. Lester was played animal sounds and asked to identify them. If the caller correctly guessed which animal he knew, they'd win $1,000.
For $1,000, I'm going to play a sound now. We're going to give this to Beetlejuice and see if he can recognize what the animal is. You have to guess whether or not Beetlejuice can recognize it. Now, here's the first one.
This is great.
It's a f***ing cat. What the f*** are you doing?
You did not win. You did not.
I get like 3 times.
He knew.
And he was, like, insulted. You'd even ask him.
In addition to comedy gigs, he also plugged a paid Beetlejuice iPhone app. Essentially, it was a soundboard that would play some of his most iconic quotes. Those who bought it recalled the app barely worked and frequently froze. In 2011, Beat returned from presumably his last Killers of Comedy tour. After this, the group was disbanded, with only speculation as to why. Some reasoned Howard wanted to distance himself from Bob Levy's increasingly common drug-fueled tirades. Others felt like it had run its course. As Artie Lang put it, they were the killers of a good time and the killers of their bank accounts. For Beat's next on-air appearance, he was brought on to grill President Barack Obama on domestic policy. His actual grievance was over Obama supposedly sending his mother an inappropriate birthday card. They also spoke about his newly created Twitter account, the start of his present-day social media usage. Stern then told a story from a new movie Beat was shooting. This led to a bizarre revelation about the whackpacker and his manager's wife.
Not Stan making another movie. It's Stan coming out.
Beat jerked off in the shower. Bobby, his manager, asked him if he jerked off, and Beat replied, "Yes, I did, but it was an accident."
Yes, I did.
But it was an accident.
Well, I do it in front of his wife every day. What?
You jerk off in front of Bobby's wife every day?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sadly, these were overshadowed when Sal the stockbroker decided to play a prank on Beat involving a bucket of fried chicken. The inciting event seemingly was not captured on video, although Beetlejuice's reaction was.
I took a bucket of chicken and I stuck my
through it. And if you know one thing about Beetlejuice, he loves fried chicken.
Once Beetle came in, it was clear he only got angrier as time went on.
You say I ain't playing? I ain't playing no game, brother. I take that seriously. Really, I really does.
Sal arrives to instigate further, poking his junk through a bag and offering it as a present.
Pull the stone on me, he say, hey, I'm gonna take out my and put it on the chicken.
Right.
And I say, you do that one more time, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
By the time they got to Collars, Beat was furious and going off, claiming he was Puerto Rican and that he spoke several languages fluently.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna prove that Beat is black. He keeps saying he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I know Puerto Rican, you little piece of shit.
After the segment was over, Sal tried to extend an olive branch, which happened to be his dick in another box. This enraged Green to the point that he actually started swinging.
You got a piece of cake
I got
in
a
here.
present.
As you can probably tell, this broadcast would go down as yet another legendary appearance. It may have even been the last by some accounts, with Artie getting fired in 2009 as Sal and Beat's dynamic took center stage. That December, he dressed up as Santa Claus with Beat on his lap.
Do you want to sit on Santa's lap?
Sit on Santa's lap.
Do
What do
you?
you think, I'm that dumb?
I don't know. No.
Beetle, if you sit on my lap, I promise you Rudolph will not kick sand over you next time you come to the North Pole.
In 2012, Beetlejuice and Sal appeared in the film Girls Gone Dead. The horror comedy follows 6 ex-high school cheerleaders being stalked by a killer. It's predictably raunchy with scenes of nudity. They start alongside disgraced adult entertainer Ron Jeremy. The film currently sits at 3.5 stars out of 10 on IMDb. In July, Beat went on Stern to promote the film in what seems to be his only appearance that year. Instead of what he was there to promote, they discussed several recent changes in his life. Firstly, Beat moved down to Georgia to live with his mother. She retired and wanted to be closer to family. He still worked with Bobby, but they found 2 other people who could accompany him on travels. Stern asked if his sister lived with them, only for him to reveal that she passed 2 years prior. Shocked, Howard asks if it was Erica, the sister he'd met. Beat says yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. That lovely girl I met, your sister, died?
Yeah, she died before she died. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She talked to me before she died.
The problem is that, as we've become well acquainted, Lester can be an unreliable narrator. While he affirms to Howard that it was Erica who died, he also states his late sister was, quote, 44, the same age as his mom. Given he has multiple sisters, it's difficult to ascertain who he meant from this. However, there is a second clip where it's clarified she was not the one Howard met.
Beetle has 2 sisters, so not the one that you met.
Because you remember I met your sister and your mom? Not
Right.
your sister that I met. She's alive.
Yeah, my sister's alive, but my other sister died.
Unfortunately, their immediate interpretation is the most common one, with videos clickbaiting his loss while showing the wrong sister on screen. In 2013, Beetle participated in 2 guessing games. The first had him try and identify famous people from their faces. He recognized Prince, Michael Jordan, and Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. To the Beatles, he replied, "What are they, f***ing hillbillies or some shit? I don't want to know nothing about that." To Obama, he would say, "I don't give a f*** who he is. I don't give a shit." To the Pope, he's just a rabbit. He's just a rabbit, that's all. And finally, for George Bush, Kennedy, I know the f*** it is. I know who I know already. He f***ing burned his house and killed himself. In 2014, Beetlejuice cameoed in the film Apartment Troubles, playing the character Hairless Cat. By this point, his presence on the Howard Stern show had greatly diminished. Beetle would occasionally fly back out to New Jersey to stay with Bobby for weeks at a time. That was when they'd usually fit in Stern-related appearances. This was the same year he stopped doing private parties. While he did show up on Stern that September, they remarked it was a rare and special appearance. Green was there to promote a boxing fight at a New Jersey high school. This episode was shot 9 days after Eric the Midget passed from severe organ failure. Beat never interacted with Eric on air, but they did meet outside the show. He appeared unmoved, arguing he paved the way for Eric and that he, quote, died for nothing. Howard reasoned Beat's subdued reaction could be related to his newfound faith in God. Regardless, they'd affirm his stake with the official greatest whack-packer of all time bracket. When it came down to the final two, Eric or Beat, almost everyone chose Beat. In 2015, they celebrated Green's 47th birthday without him with a blog post about his greatest hits. A month later, he stopped by to share a few facts about himself for listeners. He also accepted his new crown.
Get him in here. Get him. Get in the greatest whack packer of all time. Listen, we've taken votes on it. Everyone knows Beetle is the greatest. Beat, because you're here, we couldn't get a hold of you. You were sequestered.
Oh, I was so busy f***ing 2 girls.
Beat returned several times throughout 2016, each centered around some new guessing games. On the subject of sex terms, Beat didn't know what a clitoris meant, but did know what a golden shower was. Howard also asked him to play the fives game, where the correct answer to every question is 5.
All right, Beat, the first question is, count down backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
On September 27th, Beetlejuice came in to debut Beatmoji, his new pack of iPhone emojis. It was the same day as the first 2016 presidential debate. He declared Trump as the winner. Then he got confronted about the studio's cleaning lady who requested he not defecate on the floor. Well, she got what she wanted, because as of writing, this would end up being Beetlejuice's last in-studio appearance. This is because over the next few months, his health would take a turn. Beat's diabetes worsened, now requiring constant care and 3 insulin shots a day. His doctor insisted he stop traveling. From this point forward, Beat only appeared on the Howard Stern show remotely, calling in over the phone. This enabled his mom to appear, which she did for a quiz about their family. On September 12, 2017, Green phoned in to promote his new mobile game called Beetlejuice Bad as Can. It was also released on Steam, featuring original artwork parodying Donald Trump and Shrek. For years, this segment would be the last time he appeared on the show. He might have acted as a bouncer for Howard's holiday party that year, but if true, it's the only exception I could find. There were several posited explanations for why, but the most popular was that he didn't need Howard anymore. In the age of social media, Green could grow his own platform. Through TikToks and other viral content, he became much more well-known for being a meme.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Today, his official Instagram has amassed over 3.2 million followers. Beyond logistical issues, it didn't really benefit him in any way to appear on Stern anymore. Many of his viral moments after this had nothing to do with Howard at all. For example, when he called out actor Jake Gyllenhaal and boxer Mike Tyson for TMZ.
Mike Tyson is a he's scared of me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He can't beat you.
He can't beat me. He's scared of me.
In 2018, he collabed with the viral personality Tan Mom. The two of them duet on a new song titled I Can Do What I Want. Tan Mom has since become a frequent guest on Stern. With the start of the pandemic, Bobby gave some updates on the podcast. Here's the pitch. He ran a boxing gym where Beat was his right-hand man. He stopped doing in-person appearances entirely. They were still in touch with Stern, but their schedules never lined up. One of his sisters became his guardian, but not Erica, although she was still alive. Then in December of 2021, after a half-decade absence, Beetlejuice returned for his first appearance on Howard Stern over webcam. The two reconnected as Beetlejuice confessed there was only one person he truly missed.
Well, the only person I miss is you.
Thank you. Yeah. I see you winking.
Beetle.
Unfortunately, this momentous occasion was somewhat undermined by what he was there to promote. Green took interest in cryptocurrency and was there for the launch of his new token, Bitcoin. The earliest trace I could find of the project is dated August 2021. In November, the website got its first archive. It launched December 14th with a total of 1 million coins. Those who bought the token were promised exclusive VIP content, including a newsletter. After the reunion, Bitcoin started trading at 42 cents. Unfortunately, as is the case for pretty much every single crypto-related project, it was fated for doom. Within weeks, owners of the token were complaining about it not receiving any of the listed benefits, as if I should feel sympathy for someone who bought into a Beetlejuice coin. I've waited over 2 weeks now and I haven't received my exclusive content. I have $100+ of Beatbucks and I'm waiting patiently on my bad as can coin. Let me get this exclusive content. The following is a Redditor's post from January 6, 2022 about the project. Just so you know, you guys are fucking up big time. You offer content you must not have or at minimum don't have ready. My girlfriend and I ordered the $50 coin, same day and time. I got mine last week. She hasn't got hers. If that wasn't bad enough, it was a collaboration with the platform Rally.io. In 2023, Rally abruptly shut down, leaving users and investors empty-handed. They weren't just unable to exchange the coins for money, the assets themselves were in limbo and were ultimately lost forever with no reparations. Bitcoin was officially dead. Even with the setbacks, one of the coin's creators tried to revive interest later that year. This time it would be a standalone project. They offered to send 500 Bitcoin to any fan willing to cover the transaction fee. As you can imagine, no one bit. A different unaffiliated Bitcoin emerged in 2024, but it too was unpopular and short-lived. Bitcoin wasn't the only product Green promoted on his comeback. He also plugged a one-of-a-kind Beetlejuice NFT in the style of a baseball rookie trading card. It was bundled with an exclusive video of Lester telling his life story. To date, this has yet to be seen by the public. All we know is that the auction ended with it being sold for $12,500 plus a $250 premium. Then sadly, on September 10, 2023, Beetlejuice's mother, Lily Pearl Porter, passed away at the age of 79. Despite few public appearances, she was remembered and beloved by fans for the warmth and kindness she displayed. It's not entirely clear how Beat reacted, as the matter was handled privately, but he stayed active on social media and nowadays appears to be in good spirits and health. Bobby still flies down to Georgia every now and then to visit, but by all accounts, Lester is retired and seems comfortable staying out of the spotlight. And with that, we conclude the tale of Beetlejuice, finally approaching the present day. Updates on Lester's life and well-being are infrequent, yet he's managed to continue reaching new fans through the spread of now decades-old clips to a new young audience. It would be easy to dismiss his success as a byproduct of mean-spirited bullying, but that undercuts the importance of his personality and ability as an entertainer himself. It's kind of weird to get into the ethics of platforming a person like Beat, and I think Howard Stern has spent the last leg of his life reflecting on the sort of stuff that made him the biggest radio personality of all time. In the case of Mr. Green, he often seemed in on the joke, and was surrounded by people who truly cared for him. On the other hand, though, he was still disabled and others profited off of his many eccentricities. In a bizarre way, Beat could walk into a room knowing nothing and somehow come out on top through sheer confidence by coming up with the craziest lines that, while seeming random, landed so often that I truly doubt he didn't know what he was doing. He carried himself like he was the biggest celebrity around while not caring for actual celebrities. And beneath it all, he truly has a heart of gold.